Hey, I'm Sith King.
And I'm Sonic Sons.
And today we're looking at Jurassic World.
And we are the Rambling Reviewers.
Oh, shut up. Yeah. Funny story about this. We actually got to the theater.
We thought we were running late, because we got lost on the way there. So we rush in, and it's this tiny little theater, actually. It's not our usual place. And we said, okay, we're going to Jurassic World. We're late. No, it's good. Okay, we get the tickets. We walk in the theater. Previews are still going, or the commercials even. And we're like, okay, cool, we're watching.
And then the movie starts. I remember back before the war with the machines. I spoke up, I have some questions.
No, the first thing we saw was, it said,
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I'm like, wait, is Schwarzenegger in this movie?
This might be the best movie ever.
It's like a surprise casting twist of some kind.
Yeah, it really hit that one well.
And then, before the machines, because he said, but he starts like, I remember long ago, and I was like, before the dinosaurs died, or where are we going? Before the war with the machines. I'm like, I am so confused. What are we?
I don't remember this twist.
And then we realized
what
we
happened
were in
to Jurassic Park. I'm sorry, I forgot the Cylon Uprising.
It would be so cool, though, to throw that much of a twist at audiences. Just advertise essentially the wrong movie. Turns out to be a big old crossover with Terminator. But no, we had stepped into Terminator Genesis, of course. And I stepped out, and we got the nice lady to restart Jurassic World.
And we were only able to do that because we were the only people who bought tickets to that showing.
It was tiny
pretty
little
hilarious.
The first time we walked in there, it was just the sound and no visual. We're like, oh, we'll just riff this. We'll just imagine what's happening. But no, we got them to fix it.
Yeah.
So Jurassic World, my overall take, it was fun. It's a popcorn flick.
It's a summer movie.
It's got enough heart that it doesn't. You know how you feel when you watch a Transformers movie, and it's just like
after the first one, yes.
After the first one, anyway, yeah.
And not counting the 1986 animated movie, which I personally consider the non-Michael Bay 1986 animated Transformers film one of the finest movies I've ever seen.
Yeah. Well, anyway, those other Michael Bay films are just like, wow, I feel like I'm dumb now. I feel like I've become dumber by watching just things explode for no reason. But this movie is not like that. It has some heart. It's kind of shallow, but not so shallow that you feel like, you wasted your time. You kind of know what the plot lines are going in. We have this woman, Claire, who runs Jurassic World.
Sort of. I mean, she's kind of in charge of the place, but she doesn't own the place, and we meet the owner.
She's like just the director, let's call it, right?
Sure, she's the director.
She had no boss that appears on screen.
Yes, she did.
There's some off-screen...
The Indian guy. That was her boss.
Is that her actual boss?
Yes, that was her boss.
Fine.
He owns the park.
Oh, well, I was confused. I thought he was a guy that worked for her, because he was flying her around in the helicopter, right? So I thought he was, second in command or something.
If he worked for her, she would have just ordered him to get the fuck out of the helicopter when he doesn't have a helicopter license. No. The only reason she stayed in there was because, hey, I'm your boss. Why do you look so scared? I don't have my helicopter license yet, and I suck.
Well, I figured she was in a hurry or something. She's always in a hurry because she's so much... uptight person, and everyone keeps telling us that.
Yeah, this movie has one flaw. Okay, it has a few flaws, but its biggest flaw is it tends to repeat itself a bunch.
It does, on several points. So on the one was like, let's establish that Claire is uptight. So we'll say that, like her sister calls her and tells her that, and Masrani tells her that in the helicopter. And Owen, the dude who trains velociraptors, is like, you're too uptight. I'm like, okay, we get it. Movie, she's uptight. Yes.
To which I said, hey, maybe she wouldn't be uptight if she wasn't the only competent person in Jurassic World. When it comes to running the actual business side of things.
Yeah, the business side. The security side, there is no one who's that competent.
The best we got is Owen, and that's really not that great. So basically, she's in charge of running investors, making sure all the animals are inside of their pens, making sure that people are selling things.
She's the park operations manager, says Wikipedia, as opposed to Masrani, who owns the place. You were right.
Okay, so the next thing... heck, even Masrani says, look, I don't care about the numbers. Just tell me how the park is doing. If only there was a way to quantify how the park was doing, with some sort of scale that's utilized values from, I don't know, something to something else. Oh, what are those called? Oh yeah, numbers. Prick.
No, I understand the concept behind it. Of really enjoying and being a caretaker of this world and not just a business mogul. But it was still just a little obvious and a little repetitive. Likewise, on the Owen and Claire are attracted to each other in some way, says the movie. Shrug. I mean, it's not as bad as like Thor and what's her name?
Natalie Portman's character?
Yes, Natalie. I totally wanted to say Natalie, and I stopped myself because I couldn't remember her actual name.
Yeah, Natalie Portman's character, whatever.
But it's still just sort of like
Jane.
Jane, yeah. It's still
I want to
sort
say
of like,
Goodall, but
this
that's
is,
not
yeah,
right.
no. This is like the romance of the movie. It has been declared. At one point they kiss because we said
Plot.
so. Shrug. Moving on. It's not like totally implausible. It's just not a great love story exactly.
And they didn't even have that great of a backstory together. If you listen, they went on one date.
Yeah.
Once.
And she came up with an itinerary because she's uptight. We heard you, movie. Thank you.
I mean, sure. Some people like to come up with lists on what to do on a date. I can understand that. That's not an uptight thing.
Well, no, the movie is portraying it that way anyway. It's clearly, it's meant to be. This is her character flaw. Just so you know. And over the course of the movie, she becomes a little slightly sexier bit by bit. She, at one point, changes the jacket so you can see more of her skin.
Cleavage.
And then at one point, leaves the jacket aside entirely. And I'm like, yeah, I guess I saw that coming. You guys... I mean, it doesn't get, stripperific, but it's like, I can see the direction you're taking this movie.
Okay, so the movie begins with two kids who I don't give a fuck about.
I mean, I like the Zach.
Their name
the
are
little one was
Zach and...
No, wait. Gray was a little one.
Gray is a little one who
Zach
I sort of suspect is on the autism spectrum because he knows absolutely everything about everything else.
The Hollywood autism spectrum, as it were.
Yeah.
Because they've got their own way of portraying it.
Yeah, he didn't get too obnoxious, but
No.
you could tell that it bugged his brother, the brother character, his name is...
Zach.
Zach?
Thank you, Wikipedia.
Zach is wrong about literally every single thing in the freaking movie. Literally everything.
Oh, waterfall jump. I pointed that out when we were watching it. That was one good decision he made.
Okay, that's one decision he made because it was the only option other than get eaten by the Indominus.
Yeah.
And they're going to Jurassic World because their aunt is Claire, the director lady who is so uptight, according to the movie.
Yep.
So, yeah, they go there.
And she sends an alien to be their supervisor. Or
A
so
what?
I assume is because her name was like Zan or something. What was that lady's name who was like the assistant? Zara, apparently. Zara. Yeah, whatever.
Zara Young.
Zara. I just thought you're
Zara
from space.
Young?
But anyway.
You mean like Tara Young? Wait, Tara... No, that's Tara
Tara
Strong.
Strong.
Oh, my bad.
Anyway.
No, we do not need Twilight Sparkle in this movie.
What about Batgirl? Anyway. Good point.
Well,
yeah?
I can't really see how the inclusion of Batman in any way would diminish this film.
Oh, that would be interesting. Batman in Jurassic World.
Batman riding raptors.
Oh, boy. Okay, you should do that.
Anyways...
So Zara looks after them because Claire is way too busy because she's uptight. Okay, we get it.
Yeah, it's not like she's trying to run the park because the owner is a complete waste of space who's trying to get his helicopter license instead of running the biggest theme park in the world.
He probably does something in his spare time. I don't know.
So, yeah, and it turns out that they're making an entirely new dinosaur, one out of genetic modification.
Let me just repeat that. Genetic modification! Because they will not shut up about that, will they?
Yeah, I mean, it's not exactly as if the idea of genetic modification is new to Jurassic Park. I mean...
No, it was there from the beginning.
In the very beginning, they said, well, we couldn't find all the DNA strands, so we plugged in frog DNA.
And then they started reproducing in 8 people. Because those things are related.
Okay, yeah, I get it, because actually they're not really related at all, but
well,
still.
indirectly, because that's how they managed to, overrun the security thingamajigs.
No, they didn't.
Well, okay, no.
No.
The one Nebish guy overrode them, but then there were more dinosaurs than you would expect, and that was a problem because of they've been reproducing.
It was more of a problem in the books. In the movie, it was just like, oh, we found eggs.
Yeah, I guess it was. All right.
Yeah, so anyways. Moving along, the Indominus, because fuck it, why not? Indominus Rex is apparently their mishmash of everything made of your nightmares.
But mostly T-Rex.
Yeah.
Which they
Why?
hide it for a second, and then I was like, and then you see it, and you're like, oh, it's it's a T-Rex.
Well, they name it Indominus Rex. How hard were they trying to hide it?
Well, I know, but I'm just saying, I don't know exactly what I was hoping for, but something that basically moves, runs, and eats like a T-Rex, and it does have camouflage that it uses exactly once, and it has grabber arms that it uses exactly once. Beyond that, it is the T-Rex.
Yeah, it's the T-Rex, and they go on about, oh, well, we need more dinosaurs, bigger dinosaurs, scarier dinosaurs, because
You want more money.
park attendance has been going down. People aren't interested in dinosaurs anymore, to which I say, they're dinosaurs! They're freaking dinosaurs! What person is bored of these things?
Yeah.
How jaded are you? You know,
They live in a movie world.
This is a world where aliens invade every 12 weeks. That's the only explanation for how they're so jaded about something as awesome as dinosaurs.
Something like that. I don't know. But yeah, no, she totally tells some investors we're using genetic modification. And then later she gets Owen to check on the Indominus's security systems.
Well, we meet Owen in the meantime.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Owen is played by Chris Pratt, who you may remember from Guardians of the Galaxy, and darn it, there was that other one. Oh, yeah, he played the voice of the main character in the Lego movie.
Oh, I didn't even realize that.
Yeah, so, you know, he's worked with tree people, plastic people, and raccoons, so naturally he's a perfect choice to work with taming velociraptors.
Yay!
This is honestly one of the coolest aspects of the movie, on the basis of they're training velociraptors to do cool things.
Yeah. I mean, dinosaurs are inherently cool, and we get to do cool things with them. That's kind of the whole reason these movies exist.
Yeah, I mean, dude. Just friggin' dude.
Dude. So then he talks to her, and
We
he gave a little speech. He's like, you know, these creatures are not just numbers; they're animals. Okay, I get it. She's too uptight. And then she's like, they're thinking, I gotta eat, I gotta hunt, I gotta. And he does this thing with his hand and says things like, tighten this wrench. It was like, yeah, this is what animals do. Gotta tighten wrenches, man.
that's a
Or tighten bolts, I guess, with a wrench, whatever.
It was there. But so I don't know. I felt like the romance was overplayed between the two. Maybe if they dated for like a few months or something, maybe I could understand that. But one date,
they did at least they had the sense enough to not. They had them in the same room a lot, but they didn't pretend like it was a great love story and we'll spend a whole lot of time staring into each other's eyes. It was like, you've been informed that this is a romance. Now dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Like, okay, at least you got to the dinosaurs.
Okay, so since Owen knows how raptors think, they want to make sure that this cage that they're building for Indominus is safe enough that the Indominus, aka the scariest, most terrifying monster in the entire world, cannot get out. Guess what happens?
in a dumb way. But on the way to the cage, she tells him, so, you know, we actually created this with genetic modification. Yes, I remember this from 2 scenes ago, Claire. And he's like, oh, genetic modification, that's messed up for some reason. And
despite the fact that your job involves working with creatures that were genetically engineered.
And
God damn it.
And this comes up several times throughout the movie. Like, later on, we talk to the scientist guy, and he's like, well, look, we genetically modified them, and therefore they're more aggressive. They're known to be unpredictable, and genetic And you know something? I'll just go off on a little tangent here. Conservatives complain that Hollywood is too liberal. And most of the time you go to see movies and I'm like, I don't know, is it liberal? I'm not even paying attention. But I read an article on it recently and I was paying attention this time and I was like, hey, wait a minute. This genetic modification is bad thing lines up exactly with, you know, genetically modified crops are bad position that liberals tend to take. And I voted for Obama, by the way, so I'm not criticizing from the outside. And then likewise that the corporations are evil and focus too much on profits and not on your real experiences or something. And especially that military style guy, he's the most evil of them all. And he wants to use raptors for the military, which is clearly an evil thing also. And I'm like, this is liberal every way you look at it, isn't it?
It really is.
Huh.
And it's not even like these are original liberal plots or anything. If it was something new and different, then maybe I could get behind it a little more, but we've seen the military complex wanting to use science for evil before. We've seen corporations being gigantic scumbags.
And you could do
I
that.
don't even need a movie to see that. I need to turn on the TV.
Yeah, you could do that in an interesting way, but it becomes this sort of just slap on. Who's our villain? The corporatist military type guy. There you go.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Moving on.
Whatever. So the Indominus actually does it's kind of clever how it does it. It scrapes up the wall to make it look like it tried to escape that way.
Mm-hmm.
Then it hides, and when for some reason they can't see it.
Yeah, this is a weird thing. Where Claire's where is it? It's not coming out to feed. Oh, we'll turn on the thermal scanners. And the thermal scanners are all like, beep, 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 we couldn't find it anywhere. And I was like, shouldn't the thermal scanners have told you that as soon as they lost track of the man-eating monstrosity?
And how did it know to do that?
Yeah, because apparently it has this super... You know what? I come to think of it, the Indominus is a T-Rex except these one-time use superpowers. One use of chameleon, one use of hands, and one use of thermal camouflage, which it can do. Just that one time. So it does that, and hides from the scanners, and they're like, oh, it must be gone.
How did it know how to do that?
It's super smart, I guess.
I guess
don't
one
know.
of its plot powers is that it can read the script.
Yeah, more or less. So then they walk in, they're like, oh, let's look at these marks, from the inside of the cage.
Without guns.
Without guns. There are no guns anywhere in the vicinity. There is not one single armed man near the worst disastrous thing on the park.
And even worse, even if you do see guns, it's always these really tiny things. Nothing you need to take down something that is bigger than a tank.
Yeah.
You don't see any
rocket launchers.
Yeah. You don't see any anti-vehicular sniper rifles. You don't see any Sidewinder missiles. You don't see any Apache helicopters. And you'd think that the park would have APCs or something that wouldn't be vulnerable to an animal just bumping against it and knocking it over. But no, they're all traveling around in jeeps.
Yeah, that's not very smart. And, remember this is the 4th movie in the series. They should have learned by now.
Okay, I will grant them this. Movie 3 was not because of InGen screwing up.
Okay.
It was they some dumbasses went to the island that the dinosaurs were still alive on, and they didn't.
They got lost or something, stranded.
And then the Spinosaurus came, and we all hated that movie because of the Spinosaurus.
I didn't even see it, but yes, here it was not that good.
But
it would have made more sense if this was a reboot, but they wanted to not make it a reboot because they wanted the nostalgia factor of finding the original hole where the final scene with the T-Rex took place in the first movie.
Yeah.
Which was cool to see. At the same time, it does make everyone look like a freaking idiot for not having rocket launchers everywhere.
Because you should have learned from this by now. You're dealing with creatures that outmass most boats.
They specifically said, one guy's wearing the original Jurassic Park t-shirt in the control room. He's like, don't you think that's insensitive? Yeah, I know people died, but dinosaurs. So, whatever his excuse was.
Well, to be fair.
Dinosaurs.
Yeah.
But honestly, though, that would, in real life, that would be super insensitive. That would be like wearing a 9/11 t-shirt. And because
no, it'd be
things
like
blowing up is cool.
World Trade Center t-shirt.
Yeah, I guess. Still.
Yeah, but seriously, people. Okay, so the Indominus gets out because suddenly it reveals itself, and the fattest security guard in the history of man, who really should have had anything to justify his presence, who already fricked up because he decided, hey, let's not keep an eye on the thermal scans.
Yeah.
He opens the door. Now, this isn't a normal door. This is an Indominus-sized door for the sole purpose of letting the monster get out, because we couldn't have run the 20, 30 feet around the perimeter to the door that works. No.
I don't, yeah, wait, just use a regular human doors, you guys. Anybody? No?
Okay, and how about this? If you're so worried about this thing getting out, why is there only one door between it and freedom? Why not
an airlock system?
Yeah.
Not literally, but, figuratively.
If it learns, hey, if I go through this door, I can get out, it gets in there, you can have, a bunch of guys with rocket launchers.
Yeah, who should have been mounted on the first wall to begin with. They'd be like, it's in here with us! And then just this horde of rockets steers through the air. It dies. Okay, well, we lost $26 million, but everyone's alive. And then there was no movie. Yeah, that's the problem with that.
Okay, so
it gets out.
It eats a few people.
Eats the guy.
Owen manages to escape by covering himself in gasoline.
That's pretty clever.
To which I thought it was a Dr. McNinja reference, because they can't catch you if you're on fire.
Aha!
Of course, the Indominus might have just gone, yeah, I'm not eating that. I'm not eating anything that stupid. So then it escapes. And
into just the whole island, apparently. There are no other walls on the entire island. Except that one wall around the Indominus land.
Dude, in Jurassic Park 3, there were fences and walls, even in the middle of the island.
In Jurassic Park 1, remember they had like the electric fence at one point you had to jump off of, and like there was stuff going on. There is nothing else on this park except that one wall. It's amazing.
It's just really sad, you know.
And then he threatens because Claire decides to evacuate all the rides, which are apparently closer to Indominus's lair. But not evacuate immediately the resort. So everyone's kind of pulled back to the resort, which again apparently has no walls.
There are no walls protecting this thing.
We have to assume because they're like, oh no, the Indominus is going to come and eat us all. I'm like, really? There isn't a wall somewhere?
The worst part is this isn't even the first time in the movie that a dinosaur escapes captivity. There's one in the very early scene where Claire is going, why is that dinosaur out of its pen? Oh, it wandered beyond the invisible electric fence because its transmitter was damaged because it was bashing its head against another dinosaur.
Yeah, Ram style.
So, you know these things are fallible. You know this is a multiple times occurrence. They mentioned that this happens again and again. Why not build something that is literally the oldest form of defense in human history, a wall?
A wall. Actually, we did see a wall briefly when the kids were in the Jeep much later, and they had to get the guys to open the door.
Yeah, but then
But that wall ceases to exist beyond that one scene.
The only explanation I can give for that wall is they started to build it. It's only like 10 feet wide.
Yeah. Ran out of budget, whatever. Those guys just standing there guarding the wall of pointlessness.
God damn.
So to go these things in order, though, let's see. So the Indominus is out, and we're gonna. The kids are gonna go on a gyroscope tour. After they've seen some other things, they went like
including
a monorail.
the Mosasaurus, which is essentially if the Loch Ness monster hated you.
They were just a giant, super shark thing.
Yeah, it actually eats sharks. Admittedly, is kind of cool.
Which is cool.
See, and they had the amazing retractable stadium. All the seats went down into the ground so you could see this underground tank where you could see where the Mosasaurus lived.
Which was cool. Though for a second there, I thought they were raising the tank. I was like, how heavy is that tank?
And of course, money not spent on walls.
Yeah, that's true.
Or
yeah.
weapons.
No. We couldn't.
Or tanks.
You got holograms, we can get a wall.
Yep.
So the kids are in this gyroscope thing, which apparently doesn't even have a track. I guess normally it runs on autopilot or something.
But like they were able to override it or something
because
drive
they've got
around?
like VIP, wristbands or something.
Okay, here's a question: why would you have that function in there in the first place and not put it on a track of some kind, like in the original park? Okay, yes, the T-Rex broke out, and yes, the in case of power lossage. But here's the other thing. If you give jackasses the ability to pilot these things, sooner or later, they are going to start deliberately ramming into the dinosaurs. The dinosaurs will learn these things mean pain and start attacking these spheres.
They just might.
By just might, I mean absolutely that's
So,
what's going to happen.
Zach...
I know how people think.
I don't know. I don't know exactly what the VIP thing does as opposed to the regular thing, however that works. Jimmy Fallon's in there, by the way. Oh, hi there, Jimmy Fallon.
Yeah, he's
not sure why you're in this movie, but okay.
Yeah, he kind of showed up for a video on how to use the gyro balls.
But he wasn't even telling you how to use it. He was just telling them that they were safe. Which you think they should tell you that in the line before you get there, just so people don't run away.
Yeah, dude.
But So the kids go off into restricted territory.
Because why in God's name would you want to stay in the safe area of the park when there are things that outmass you by several tons?
Yeah. Then Indominus shows up and eats some stuff and tries to eat them because it's evil and just wants to eat everything.
Okay, the way I heard it described is that it doesn't know what it is. It's trying to figure out where it is in the world, and it's trying to kill things to see where it is on the food chain. That is stupid, and I hate that reasoning, but fuck it, why not? It makes more sense than I'm killing because fuck you.
It's pretty
which is the Spinosaurus's way of thinking from Jurassic Park 3.
No.
Where it just kept murdering things for no reason, even though it had a ton of meat already. And it couldn't eat any of those things anyway.
Which is kind of what Indominus did, but it also had a semi-tragic backstory. No social contact in its cage. How sad.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand that to one sense. Like, they want to give it a reason to be evil. At the same time, they keep talking about respecting the animals and stuff, which is, again, a very liberal sort of perspective. Nature is wonderful. It's amazing how they get that message across in the middle of a Jurassic Park movie.
Yeah, when they're being eaten. God damn.
That happened in Jurassic Park too, remember? The freaking good guys are like animal rights activists that set the dinosaurs free so they can eat more people.
Goddamn people. Look, I get
Maybe it's a conservative movie in disguise.
Look, guys, if you have beliefs about animals, that's fine. I accept that. My thing is that an animal life is worth infinitely less than a human life.
And
okay, most cases, I'm willing to make exception for Nazis.
But or at least treat the carnivores different than the herbivores, whilst
show them respect, and then ... because if you don't, they will rise up and end you like a goddamn motherfucker.
Oh boy, oh boy. Okay, so the kids are missing. They're like, oh, well, all the gyrospheres are accounted for. I know that. It's my job. Oh, wait, one of them isn't. Like, you're an idiot. You're staring at that
fired.
screen.
You are fired infinitely.
To the guy in the control room. So the kids run away from the Indominus, and they jump off a waterfall at one point and survive. And the next scene, they're not wet, I noticed. I guess they dried off really quick. I
gave it the benefit of the doubt that they're in the Caribbean.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's really hot.
Yeah.
And they actually make their way into what I think is probably one of the coolest moments in the movie. They find the old Jurassic Park building.
Yeah.
And it's just every scene I was like, oh my god, remember that? Remember that?
The night vision goggles here, the Jeep's there, the banner that fell down while the T-Rex roared in that scene I already mentioned.
Yeah, so it was really cool there. But anyways, so eventually the kids fix up the Jeep.
I'd like to know how they did that.
I'd like to know how the fuel still worked, because doesn't fuel like degrade over time?
Yeah, within 10 years to be sure. It would not be worthwhile using.
Yeah, and if it's
been like 20 years, I think.
If it's been 20 years, okay, let's assume that someone came back and took a look at it. It should not have been that overgrown.
Yeah. But they had to get
look,
the kids out.
Portal. There were levels in Portal 2 that had less overgrowth than this place, and it was supposed to be over 300 years after the fall of civilization.
Poor old civilization keeps falling down all the time.
Yeah. But, so, yeah. Meanwhile, Owen and Claire decide to go hunting for this thing.
Well, they're trying to save the kids. And we missed a scene, though, where the security forces decide to take on the Indominus. And they suck.
God,
They're going after it with non-lethals. They're going after it on the ground. They have no air support.
Their vehicles are Jeeps.
The vehicles are Jeeps. The thing has camouflage, which they don't know, okay, but then it jumps out of them. The guy's like, it can camouflage! I'm like, are you yelling at me or your fellow? Like, you don't need to tell them. We're all saw it.
We're all looking at you as it happens. And furthermore, why aren't you shooting it at the instant that you see it? This is a real big problem. Everyone just stands around and not shoots things.
And then
doesn't
shoot them, whatever. And it eats everybody. And one guy actually shoots it in the face with like a shotgun. But as it's coming at him, he just keeps shooting at it and makes no attempt to dodge out of the way. And it looked kind of dumb. I will just keep shooting you until I've been eaten. I'm so terrible.
Again, nothing capable of handling a larger creature.
Yeah.
Something maybe the scale of a raptor. Maybe they could have done that.
Right. Oh, we also missed the speech that Vic keeps giving.
God damn it, Vic.
Vic, the bad guy of the movie, who wants to use dinosaurs in combat in like real war and so forth. Who just keeps talking about, hey, we can use these things in combat. They'll be really great in combat. And then Owen's like, no, they're animals. And for some reason that makes them unsuited for combat or something.
Really? Because, we've been using horses in battle for thousands and thousands of years. Dogs are known to be used in battle.
Yeah, and he's got a point about them turning against you.
And you're, of course, forgetting about the ninja throwing octopus.
Of course. We all remember how that was wiped out from the official histories.
Yes.
Just like Windows 9. Oh, wait, that's my new theory. Windows 9 was Skynet, and then the Resistance fixed it, and now we're on Windows 10. They went back in time and stopped it from happening. So anyway, so yeah, Vic was like military, and just it got just repetitive, and like I get
He wouldn't shut up about it. That's the problem.
Yeah.
You know, even under okay, let's say I agree with you.
Yeah.
Again, the movie's biggest sin is you talk too much about the same shit.
And granted, I've seen other movies that are a lot more annoying with this. So this is still a fun movie, but it was like, yes, this is the military speech. Yep, okay, just waiting for the dinosaurs or the plot or whatever is happening next, because I know everything you're gonna say in the next minute. You know, and then he says it. Okay, moving on.
One scene I did like is Dr. Wu is back, and Wu was one of the scientists in the first Jurassic Park movie. They brought him back for this movie, and what's his name? The boss guy. Maserati is going, "What? I didn't ask you to build this." Wu then comes up and says, yes, actually you did. You said you wanted a monster that's bigger, stronger, faster, smarter, and scarier.
And cooler.
And cooler. You said that in your memo. I didn't want you to create monsters. Yes, you did."
Yeah, like, and then for some reason
you're messing with nature, dude. Nothing on this island is natural. And he keeps going on. You know, you want to make something scary, it's gonna have consequences to the rest of the DNA of this thing. You want to put in more teeth? Fine, it'll be more aggressive. Goddamn people. Henry Wu honestly came off as the only sane man in the entire movie.
And he's the guy who invented the Indominus, which is not a great place to start for the sanity contest.
Yeah.
But anyway, so we're off trying to Claire and Owen are off trying to find the kids on their own because all the security people are dead, except the other security people that show up later. But whatever. And at one point they see like a dying brontosaurus, and they have a neat, small, intimate moment. Oh
Yeah.
no, it's dying. Which it was a nice
very
little
nice
scene.
little touching scene.
I was kind of thinking in the back of my mind, your nephews are still missing, you know.
Your nephews are still missing, and the Conunian Sungosaurus Rex
is still out there.
Yeah.
So maybe mourn later. I just
Like, if this
nice
was a-
scene.
If
but
this was
I'm
a
saying,
special Brontosaurus, then like it was the park's mascot Brontosaurus.
or if no, you remember in the original Jurassic Park there was a moment where they had escaped the dinosaurs for the night and they like holed up in a tree.
Yeah, that was a Brachiosaurus.
And they had whatever. They had a long Nectosaurus. But the point was, at the moment, there was no danger to them personally.
Yeah.
So it was okay for them to relax a bit. And this is, we're on a rescue mission. Oh, but let us mourn something else for a while here.
Yeah. I mean, I get the respect for animals.
Yeah.
But again, there's human lives at risk.
Yeah.
Not just your nephews, the 20,000 other civilians and non-combatants who do not have weapons, who are in great danger of being devoured.
Yeah. So then they catch up to where the Jeep was. And then
it turns out that kids are apparently more adept at fixing things than the fucking Adeptus Mechanicus from 40K, who worship machines as gods, and they're able to reconstruct a Jeep perfectly, despite the fact that that should not be physically possible.
Yay, kids. So they found the correct road back to base. That's nice of them. And so in the meantime, Claire and Owen are found by the Indominus that apparently ran out of other things to eat and wants to eat people now.
Well, actually, they said it's not eating people.
Ran out of things to kill and wants to kill people now. Or whatever. They happen to be nearby.
Yeah, so
they run away. It gets distracted by a helicopter. Look, you guys finally brought in the helicopter with the machine gun. Thank you.
And it's piloted by Maserati, a.k.a. the guy who doesn't have his copter license and quickly crashes.
Well, he gets hit with a pterodactyl.
Also, the guy does not manage to hit the Indominus once with a machine gun.
And then
this guy had to have been let loose from the Imperial 501st Stormtrooper Division. It's the only explanation for how you can fuck that up.
It's a big target, yeah, and they weren't far away from it really, but it runs to this huge enclosure they have for pterodactyls.
Why do you have that? I mean, it's not like you could go inside. You see that they're willing to pick people up and drop them on the ground to kill them and eat them
I don't know
later.
What's up with that.
So
maybe they go inside with gyroscope thingies.
Yeah.
I don't know. So it smashes through the wall, lets all the pterodactyls out that immediately begin attacking the helicopter because all dinosaurs are dicks, apparently. The helicopter crashes. Maserati's dead.
The Indominus is still loose. And now all the pterodactyls are heading straight for the main resort area.
Because they're dicks. I can't explain it any other way. We are not the normal prey of pterodactyls. We look nothing like fish. They do eat fish, don't they? I think they eat fish.
Yeah, a lot of them eat fish. Some of them eat smaller animals. But here's the key point. We are not smaller animals!
And also, we are so far away. I mean, they must have been fed something in that cage. Just eat whatever's there, you guys. What do you...
I mean, if they were fleeing from Indominus, fine. But you'd think that they would just go to the top of the cage and sit on the top until the thing left.
Or flee in
and
all
then
directions
go back inside.
Equally. Yeah,
Do you know that's how birds work?
So the pterodactyls swoop down on the people of the resort and just eat everybody. And one of them eats Zara, which dooms an alien empire. After that, no.
It doesn't eat Zara.
Well,
it picks her up and drops her in the mosasaur tank, then tries to either drown her or fish her out while she's screaming. The thrashing draws the mosasaur, which eats Zara.
And the pterodactyl.
Okay, and the pterodactyl. Fine. Sure.
Which was, there's a lot of great spectacle in this. I'll have to say, though, I've kind of seen some of this before. Like, I wasn't bored. It was fun. But I know as a kid, when I saw Jurassic Park, I was like, oh my gosh, everything here is, like, so new and so scary. And this is, interesting death scene there. People drowning, not drowning, oh, giant monster, good. You know, like, it's kind of hard to keep things new when you kind of knew this was coming.
And again, we see there's no way to stop any flying creatures. No anti-air guns, no surface-to-air missiles.
Some guys show up with tranquilizer darts.
20 guys show up with tranq guns.
And apparently take down the entire flock, come to think of it, because there are no pterodactyls after that. The entire flock gets taken down. So, wow, good shot, you guys.
Okay, maybe
you should have been aiming the machine gun.
Why weren't these guys... if these guys were so good at taking down pterodactyls, why weren't they near the pterodactyls?
Yeah, why aren't there any security anywhere in this dang park? Okay. It made more sense in the first movie that there was an insider who had specifically turned off all the safety features.
Yes. Plus, the park wasn't even open, so you got the sense that it was understaffed.
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
If it had been fully open and operational, there would have been like way more guys.
You'd think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which there were, and they all got eaten.
No, and
in this movie. Yeah. And Indominus is coming for the resort because it can sense thermal radiation from like 4 miles away.
I have a couple problems with that. First off, there's probably dinosaurs in between it and there, so why is it heading for the humans? Second off, isn't there this pretty huge source of thermal radiation? What is it? It's, almost always nearby. Oh yeah, it's called the sun!
I'm guessing it can figure out the sun is not its prey, but that would be an interesting scene. It just jumps into the stratosphere.
No, we don't know where the Indominus is. And there's a rocket made of like trees and old car fuel. You see the Indominus riding on the back with a helmet. It's going to eat the sun. This is why we're not allowed to make movies.
Oh, we will someday though, and it'll be fun.
Do not watch our movies. We will have sun-eating Indominus.
And Batman.
Batman fights the Indominus on the sun.
Oh my gosh, he would find a way to do it.
I'm Batman and I can breathe in space and on the sun.
He'd be like, I am the night, and somehow that turns the sun off.
And the Indominus loses power, and then Batman saves the world. But enough on that. So the Indominus is still on its rampage. Eventually, the security guy steps forward and says, we're not letting anyone else get killed in this park.
Which is smart of him to say.
If it wasn't for him giving the speeches about how we need to weaponize these things all the time.
And how I'm a total dick, but I'll keep doing it anyway.
I would honestly think that he was probably the best character on the basis of he's actually doing shit instead of going, oh, these dinosaurs are so precious and so wonderful and so beautiful. We need to protect them at all costs because we have no sense of self-preservation.
I mean, granted, it didn't... we're exaggerating some of this, but whatever. He takes over. There's the board off screen allows him to do that, and he's going to evacuate everybody, which is smart. And he brings in a lot more guns, which is smart.
Yes.
Which makes everyone else look dumber that we didn't have these guns on site in the first place. There's these military guys come in a helicopter and they shoot down a pterodactyl like at long range, just casually. Like, wow, this guy's a badass.
We never see him again.
No, I don't know what happened to him exactly.
And plus, it's one helicopter. Wouldn't it have been cooler if they had like an armada of helicopters?
Yeah.
Then again, this movie's producers couldn't get hold of an APC, so I'm not really sure.
Just send in like a fighter jet and shoot missiles at this thing, like at least before it gets to the
a
resort.
VTOL jet. Just have it hover, draw the Indominus to you, and then hit it with a Gatling gun capable of turning a tank into scrap metal.
Cruise missile, all right. There's so many weapons you can use.
Nerve gas, flamethrowers, napalm.
I'm gonna say no on the nerve gas in case that drifts towards the rest of the park. I don't know how far nerve gas drifts, but I'd be scared of that.
Well, you're the one who said cruise missile.
Yeah, but even that, it's if the dinosaur's 4 miles away from the resort, I think that's a safe distance.
Okay, fine.
So
napalm,
anyway,
Agent Orange.
Oh man, yeah.
Freaking laser beams, like one of those they have on one of those jets that shoot down missiles.
Hey, yeah.
And tell me that wouldn't be the best climax ever. We created these monsters with science, and now we're going to destroy them with science! And then the jet roars overhead and fires the laser into the Indominus, and it explodes.
That would be amazing. So, Claire and Owen, they meet up with the kids.
And Claire is kind of awesome in this scene in that she manages to beat a pterodactyl-ish monster thing off of Owen.
Yeah, it's a T-Rexodactyl. I was so confused.
It's not an actual T-Rexodactyl. It just looks like it has a T-Rex head.
It was so weird. I was like, I thought the Indominus was your first genetic modification. What the hell is this thing?
And even that's not true because in the first movie...
Because everything is genetically modified, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So in the first... wait, no. Wait, next thought. Oh, yeah. She decides to hit it with the butt of her gun, well, Owen's gun, and then she shoots it multiple times at point-blank range.
Yeah, double tap that. Why don't you make sure, Claire? Thank you.
Can we have everyone be as competent as her, please? Can we have that as the baseline of competence instead of
the top? Yeah. So then the new plan is we're going to use the Velociraptors that we've trained, and they will help us take down Indominus because we have no walls. Okay, fine. Well, so Owen agrees to help out with that.
Oh yeah, earlier the Indominus does something I cannot believe. It performs surgery on itself to remove the tracking beacon. Why? How? You just needed it so you couldn't track the dinosaur, because otherwise this movie would be over in like a minute and a half.
I mean, I could get that. Like when dogs get surgery and they get stitches and stuff, they are known to pry out those stitches with their own teeth because they're dumb. So yeah. I could imagine the thing clawing it out of itself. But yeah, it's a little convenient. It knows that the thing is a tracking device, and it knows the timing necessary to get rid of it. But okay, it's that smart.
Okay, so they have to use the chunk of flesh it clawed out of itself and handed it over to the Velociraptors, and the Velociraptors run off after it, and they're following after in admittedly a pretty cool scene where Owen is in the middle of a raptor pack which respects him deeply while riding a motorcycle.
Which is cool.
Oh, you've got to admit that's pretty friggin' sweet.
And at the same time, I thought to myself and said to you even, he's getting a remarkably smooth ride for doing a motorcycle in the jungle.
Yeah, that was
If you watch him, he's like just rock solid, no bumps at all. And you're like, is there an invisible road just 1 inch wide immediately underneath your tires?
He drives this track a lot.
Yes. Prepared.
The shocks are amazing.
Yes.
Mitsubishi's trying to get the patent rights.
And should I say also, there's a good article on crack.com about Jurassic World and how they handle CGI and how it's annoying. Where the original Jurassic Park had CGI, and yeah, you look at it nowadays and you're sort of like, oh, some of it's a little off. But for the time, it was excellent. And they knew well enough to blend it with props and animatronics and lots of stuff. I don't think they bothered with hardly any animatronics or so forth in these movies. And there were some teams, particularly in that when he walks behind the Brontosaurus that was dying, you could see very clearly it was not real. Like, I'm noticing that the colors or something, I don't know what's up. And several other scenes of like, I don't know what's wrong with that, but there's a little bit of wrong in the whatever. Because we're over reliant on CGI these days. It's just become the industry standard. But oh well.
Yeah, it kind of sucks. So suddenly they come across the Indominus, and all the people have the guns, and they're all ready to shoot, and they don't shoot for any goddamn reason. There is literally no reason why they're not shooting.
They just stare at it with all the, you can see the beams of their laser
visible
sights.
laser sights.
Yeah, super visible laser sights, and like everyone's ready. Pause.
But it's
pause.
talking to the raptors, and we don't feel like interrupting. That's just rude. So it turns out that the Indominus is part raptor, and it communicates with the raptors and becomes the alpha raptor.
Just by talking to them. That's an amazing communication system these raptors have. Hey guys, I'm more badass than you are. Oh, okay. Normally animals have feats of strength or something in there. Anyway.
Yeah, that's kind of questionable. But he's like, the raptors have a new alpha. And finally the security guy goes, well, shoot them!
Yeah, light it up, for God's sake. And we don't have that helicopter from before. No, we are all on the ground again. That guy who totally shot the pterodactyl, his helicopter is gone.
Yeah, okay. So here's another little thing that really pisses me off about this. They start shooting, and they only shoot with the machine guns and the assault rifles at the monster that's clearly been shown to be able to take shotgun shells.
Which doesn't bleed at all, come to think of it.
Yeah.
Not a single flesh wound on that thing.
Not until, like, the other dinosaurs start attacking it.
No, not till the end.
Okay, so again, a claw from a creature that literally died out millions of years ago, fucking indestructible and unstoppable. A bullet designed by humans who have ruled this planet for the last 40,000 years and refined killing into an art does nothing.
You can't do, yeah. We're
again,
powerless.
We later see that this group has a rocket launcher. They use it to kill one of the raptors.
They did fire one at the Indominus. Remember, it kind of missed and knocked it off.
Yeah, okay.
So we were like, yay, rocket launcher guy, thank
but
you.
He couldn't hit it because, we were saving...
Yeah.
Okay, I will admit this. They did spare it for a good reason.
Yeah.
The plot.
Yes.
I'm not even kidding. They're building up to one of the easily the coolest scenes in a Jurassic Park film ever. So, yeah, they kill one of the raptors with a rocket launcher. All the guys are hunted down by the raptors again. And they're running, and they're running, and they're running. They head back to the lab for some reason. Why do they head back to the lab?
I think it was just on the way. Oh, yeah. And the kids, by the way, because they've got together, and Claire's like, okay, kids, you'll be safe in the back of this, like, armored truck. I'm like, yeah, it's armored. But A, they didn't actually lock the back doors, for God's sake. And B, why don't you put them, I don't know, in the command center or something? Anywhere else that's not, on the front lines of our anti-Indominus invasion scheme. Or counterattack, or whatever I should call it. The kids just have to be nearby for some reason. Okay, we'll just leave them here. And there were some nice moments with the kids. We should mention this family stuff. They realize their parents are probably getting a divorce, and Zach was like kind of being a dick to Gray, but then later he warms up to him. It was kind of nice to see these little things that they give the movie some heart, as we mentioned in the beginning. Then dinosaurs.
Yeah, mostly dinosaurs.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they get to the place where they cloned the Indominus first, and security guy is there, and he's in full mustache-twirling evil mode. Oh, yes, I'm so freaking evil. Check me out.
He totally makes a speech about how he's going to use
he starts to make a speech.
Yeah.
And then, thank God, a raptor bursts in and eats him.
I was glad for that moment. Just interrupting the, it was getting cliche, and then they backed off all of a sudden. Yeah. I also like when most of the control room staff is evacuating, and the one girl's leaving, and the one guy goes to kiss her, and she's like, I have a boyfriend. It's like, I didn't know you were serious. Oh, yeah, we are. Oh, okay, I just, you
don't talk about it, Oh, well, I don't talk about it at work. It's unprofessional.
Yeah, and it was nice.
A nice little subversion of that usual cliche.
Thank you, yeah.
But that the Monday morning when everyone's back in the office, it's gonna be super awkward between.
Who says they're gonna get back in the office after this? But yeah.
Good point. Well, I'm just saying, if they went back Monday morning.
Yeah.
Okay, so Owen and Claire and the kids, they run outside. They're in the plaza for the resort area, and suddenly they're trapped by the three raptors. Except Owen appeals to what I can only assume is the power of heart.
Yeah, I mean, they betrayed him already, but now they unbetray him because you said so. Which is cool, because then they get to join up forces and fight the Indominus.
The Indominus shows up again, and the Raptors fight, except 2 of them die against the Indominus because it bites them in friggin' half.
It was a cool fight scene.
Okay, it was a cool fight scene.
Yeah.
Then Claire is hiding with the kids, and the autistic one goes, "More. What? More. We need more teeth." And Claire proves why I love her so.
Yeah, she had a moment of awesome here.
She grabs a flare from an emergency kit, runs over to one of the cages and says, "Open the door." The guy who stayed behind is like, "Are you insane?" Okay. Opens it up. And the motherfucking T-Rex is there.
Yay!
She leads the T-Rex through a hallway. It smashes apart a Spinosaurus skeleton, which anyone who saw Jurassic Park 3, they're happy about that. And then we have the Indominus fight the Tyrannosaurus.
Who is allied with one of the raptor, the remaining raptor at this point.
The remaining raptor. It was... I could hear that guy from the new Godzilla film. There are creatures far beyond human understanding. Let them fight. I could almost hear the Mortal Kombat soundtrack going.
Yeah.
Mortal Kombat.
And
it's a surprisingly intense fight. It's
you gotta capture what's important about what makes these things interesting and builds up to the fight, and basically just because they're fighting doesn't make it cool, because otherwise we would have loved Man of Steel. You remember that? We got like battle fatigue by the end of Man. Like, oh, are they still fighting? And just, it was over the top and dumb.
And loud.
But this had heart, and it had a certain flavor of awesomeness that freaking Zod could not bring to the table in that incarnation.
Even better, the Tyrannosaurus Rex they have in this movie, it's the same one as the one in the first movie.
Woo!
So Rexy's back.
Yeah.
And we wanted to see Rexy back. We're bringing Rexy back. Yeah. So we wanted to see the T-Rex back because we've been hearing about this Indominus and how it's this perfect predator. All of us in the theater, which is just the 2 of us.
Yeah.
Actually, it was a very small theater, but still, everyone who saw this scene had to have been going, "Yes, Tyrannosaurus Rex, you are the one that's in our hearts. You don't have this genetic engineering bullshit, except that you do, except that you don't.
But whatever.
You are the classic. When we're terrified of the giant dinosaurs that are coming into our town at night, you're the one that's in our hearts. Kick this fucker's ass."
Yeah, and you know what? They do that even in the first Jurassic Park, and it's kind of amazing how this works, because the T-Rex terrified us the whole time. But at the end, he was our ally she was our ally against the Velociraptors and ate them so we could survive. And it was like, you're a terrible evil monster, but we love you.
Yes.
Just because you're that cool. It's like this interesting, weird, subtle emotion or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like frenemies.
Frenemies,
maybe.
yeah. Excellent frenemy.
Yeah, and so they push the Indominus back until it slams into the wall of what looks like the barrier of a lagoon, and it gets up. It looks like it's ready to fight again. The Mosasaur leaps out of the water, and it grabs it and pulls it down into the water.
Eats it, yay!
And Blue, the leader, the only Velociraptor left alive, and Rexy look at each other, and then you can almost feel them go, "You're cool.
You're cool, yeah."
And they walk away. Blue looks at Owen, and Blue was the leader of the Raptors this whole time, and she's just like, "Thanks, man," and kind of leaves.
And then and then we're all safe because, of course, there are no other dinosaurs loose in the park except the 2 we just saw.
And all the pterodactyls.
All the pterodactyls that apparently died at some point. And then once the control room guy turns off the lights and leaves, and you're like, there are still dinosaurs loose in the park, but Indominus was the only one we cared about. Okay, fine. And then the ending happens, and we hug, and there's like nothing else in the movie.
Oh, there's this awesome scene where the Rex goes up to the helicopter pad we've seen several times in the movie, sees its new kingdom, and roars.
Yeah.
And that's just the perfect way to end it, because Tyrannosaurus Rex, fuck yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much the idea. So overall, it was, fun. It just wasn't hugely groundbreaking. It was just like we brought back the old Jurassic Park. It's not as groundbreaking as the original, but it's like, here's, that same sort of flavor. It's cool. Some kids are in danger, some family stuff, lots of monsters. Things are cool. Science thrown in there.
It's nice to see the park actually open.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, I mean, they were talking about it. Everyone's wondered what Jurassic Park would be like if it actually opened. This is what it would. I'm really hoping it's not what this is like, because that was terribly run. That was all of the mistakes.
Yeah. Remember Masrani, who had worked with John
Hammond. And they had a really nice nod to him. They had a Hammond Research Center with a statue of John Hammond.
That's nice. Yeah.
I like that.
Anyway, so he had worked with John Hammond, but then when the Indominus first gets out, they're like, we should evacuate. And he's like, no, let's not do that. You're like, you worked with John Hammond. You should know better.
He did one thing with his life, and he watched it burn, and you're not learning from that?
And that, I know.
You know,
okay.
It's not that man is incapable of grasping the subtle complexities of nature and that we should just leave nature alone. It's that we're too stupid to understand that there are easily preventable disasters.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You know, if it's one of those things where, like, we've lived in this spot for thousands of years, so we're not moving, even though there's a volcano erupting just over there. That's a
different motivation.
That's different.
Tradition or something.
But, that's tradition. This is not tradition. Tradition is not being a moron.
Well, sometimes it is, and that's why traditions need to change once in a while. But, it would be the only safe way to run the park. Well, first off, have a wall. But even better, just put drones everywhere. No, put gyroscope things everywhere with cameras. And people can just access it remotely. From a completely different island with no dinosaurs on it. Look, I'm driving around. Look, it's a dinosaur. Okay, totally not getting stomped on today.
Okay, well, that kind of removes...
That would remove... I know. Realistically, of course, you want to be up close. But also, realistically, so many things could have been more sensible.
Yeah, they did make a lot of things more sensible. It did appear safer overall, except for,
everything.
The colossal fuck-ups they made in this movie. But still, it's a very good movie, very entertaining. I liked it a lot.
Good old popcorn summer flick, fun stuff. Better than Transformers or Man of Steel.
Definitely Man of Steel.
Definitely Jupiter Ascending.
Goddamn, fuck that movie. Fuck that movie. It is honestly the worst movie I've ever seen.
Oh my god, I've not even seen it, but just hearing about it it's maybe we'll look at that later.
That movie's gonna burn at some point.
Oh
It will
gosh.
burn. Go see the Honest Trailers version. They couldn't make up enough snark for the film, so they essentially just started relaying the plot of the movie while saying, "No, we're serious. This is the plot.
Yeah.
We can't make this shit up."
Yeah. I got this. All right, I guess that's about it. Yay for dinosaurs! Oh, now they're launching a new franchise on this. There's gonna be a sequel. It's probably gonna be a.
There is?
Yeah, I mean they left a sequel hook anyway with these mysterious embryos that are taken off the island and blah blah blue. But I've heard they're hoping. I mean, since when does anybody make movies without sequels? It's been like 10 years since we even thought about that idea. Everything has to have sequels. This whole thing's a bubble and it's gonna pop, especially superhero films.
I don't know. I kind of like the idea that there's more stories left to tell in a universe.
Oh, but are we telling them?
Yeah, good point.
Are we just sort of revive?
You know what I really can't stand?
Eh.
Some of the new animated movies that are coming out.
Such as?
Minions. God damn it. I'm in the minority here. But I watched Despicable Me. I like Despicable Me. I thought the key strength of Despicable Me was the touching family scenes and the way that he grows as a human being and develops. I thought the Minions were the worst part of that movie. So finding out they're making a whole movie about him is like finding out, hey, you know what? People liked Star Wars Episode 1. No, they didn't. Shut up. So we're making Jar Jar Binks the fucking movie.
Oh, boy, that's quite a statement to make. But that is a totally different movie, and we can't be spending all our time on that.
Also, fuck Peanuts.
We are a hotbed of controversy today.
I don't like Peanuts.
In less controversial news, Jurassic World was cool.
Charles Schultz should have stopped 20 years ago.
He did. He died.
Stopped 20 years earlier than that. Fuck you.
I happen to love Peanuts, but he's allergic, metaphorically speaking.
Story about a guy suffering. Pardon me for not liking it.
Oh, I know.
Okay, but anyways, Jurassic World is a really good film. I mean, it's not Shakespeare. It's Spielberg. So, if you watch
it's not the best of Spielberg either, but it's solid. I'd call it a solid film. It's
a solid film.
If you don't like dinosaurs, don't watch it. But it's just like, hey, we got to see some dinosaurs.
There's really no reason for you to watch it, because that's kind of the point.
That is the point. Yeah, that is the point. So I guess that's it.
Yep, that's everything. Anyways, I'm Sith King.
And I'm Sonic Sons.
We're signing off.